The 2022 season of competitive wiffle ball came to a close in October with the United Wiffle Ball World Championship Tournament. 40 teams from across the country and world would battle it out at the York Revolution's Wellspan Park in York, Pennsylvania, to crown a United Wiffle Ball champion. It was a weekend to remember for wiffs, and in this Wiffle Statement recap, we are going to cover all of the action. Now, Ed, start us off.
Wiffle Statement, Ed Packer, 2019. Redo it.
Try again.
Welcome to Wiffle Statement, Ed Packer, C4, 2022 National Champions.
Wow. Rematch. Fire out.
Go say Cooke.
And I don't care about the fallout.
The 2022 United Wiffle Ball WCT would take place on October 15th and 16th, with the Friday Night Fan Festival, hosted by MLW, taking place on the 14th. The tournament was scheduled to feature 40 teams. This pool of teams would feature some of the best players to ever do it, and some of the best younger talent currently in the game. However, in terms of just pure interest, one team definitely stole the show. That would be the Wiffle Tigers from Japan, the first international team to ever compete in the 34-year-long history of the championship. Plans had been in the works between the Tigers and the Cooke brothers for years to make this happen, and I would just like to say now, it was a pleasure to see the Tigers out there, and I think I speak for the entirety of the Wiffs community when I say I hope to see them at another event soon. The Tigers qualified for the WCT by competing in Saitama, Japan's SPLW. However, throughout the United States, the summer season would boast a wealth of leagues and tournaments played that led up to the end of the year championship. So, how exactly did we arrive here? Let's discuss. The defending MAW and United Wiffle champions, the Juggernauts, picked up right where they left off in 2021. They began 2022 by defeating Voodoo in the MAW Opening Day tournament, and would go on to win 5 out of the 7 MAW tournaments of the season. They would cap it all off by sweeping the best-of-3 championship finals versus Earl to become back-to-back MAW champions. Seemingly right on their tail the entirety of the season, Voodoo would qualify for the WCT by competing in MAW. However, as expected, the team name would change to the Phenoms under the control of Josh Pagano, with Robles, Toast, and Vin Lee rounding out the roster. And one more late addition, but we're going to get to that. In June, the former 3-time champion C4 qualified via GSWL, playing as a 3-man with Sean Steffi, Ty Wegerson, and Ed Packer. C4 would go on to defeat Wiff Inc. in the finals to take home the tournament and qualify for U-Wiffs. In late July, the Texas scene would be upset by the Las Vegas Cajuns, captained by Andrew Leday. The Cajuns won the 2022 Texas State Championship to qualify for U-Wiffs, defeating the Whiskey Ducks in the finals. Also in July, the Midwest would crown a national champion at the 2022 NWLA tournament, as Circle City Wiffle defeated Skibby Wiffle in the finals thanks to a 3-run walk-off home run by Will Smithy.
And I don't care about the
The world-famous MLW Wiffle Ball League wrapped up their 2022 season in September, as the downtown Diamondbacks became back-to-back champions, sweeping the Cobras at SoFi Stadium. For the WCT, MLW would have a very diverse group of players competing, as they featured their own all-star team, and Sawyer Bean and Brendan Baranowski joined the Keggers. And then, of course, league rookie Jordan Robles would be attending with the Phenoms. All these events and many more built up the anticipation for the best weekend of Wiffs. However, for the first time ever, this weekend would feature a secondary event. That event would be the MLW U17 Invitational Tournament, a great event to offer the up-and-coming talent in the country a place to compete at the highest level. Now, before we get deeper into this recap, I just want to make it clear that in this video, we are not going to be covering the U17 event, and that is not trying to take away at all from how exceptional that tournament was, but just because of the length and the scope of this video, I would like to keep this recap focused on the WCT so we can cover as much of the field of play as possible. If you'd like to watch a lot of content from the U17 tournament, you can check out the links in the description below. As for the WCT, the format this year was more or less changed back to the original format in 2020. Teams were divided into 5 pools and would have to battle their way out of each pool in order to make it to the round of 16 Saturday night. Throughout pool play before the playoff rounds, teams would play teams with an identical record. So 1-0 teams played 1-0 teams, 0-1 teams played 0-1 teams, and so on, until you were either eliminated in bracket play or moved on into the playoff rounds. The round of 16 was scheduled to be played Saturday night, with Sunday being composed of the final 8, leading down to the final 4, and then at last the World Championship Finals. Now, with the tournament preview finished, let's officially begin our recap of the United Wiffle Ball Championship weekend, beginning with the Friday Night Home Run Derby and Fan Fest. The Friday night festivities began with the MLW meet and greet and Q&A, where fans of the league piled into Wellspan Park to get a chance to meet and talk with their favorite Wifflers.
Welcome to 2022 U.S. World Championship Wiffle Ball Tournament. We're happy to have you all here. Thank you all for coming. We have groups from all over the country, all over the world. Where's Alaska? Where's the Alaska for that? There we go. We have Jordan Robles from the Mallards. Ryan French from the Breds. I'm Tyler from the Mallards. Kyle, the commissioner of our league, was from the Wildcats. Good North from the Diamondbacks. And Nick Stabler from the Wildcats. I want to open up the floor to all of you guys for any questions that you might want to ask us when we get around the few minutes. So, yes, what is your guys' favorite pre-game meal?
I would say I'm a 2 8-ounce Red Bull kind of guy. I would not advise that. Definitely don't follow this. Aside from that, any fruit, I'm a big apple guy, so just Red Bulls and some apples. Try to be healthy, you know?
Yeah, I'm all about quickness as I go to the field and set up much prior to when you guys get there. So maybe just a quick hot pocket, some fruit from the fridge or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm about as superstitious as it gets. So actually the night before every game, I go to Chick-fil-A, I get my 12-piece nugget, my waffle fries, my shake, and I'm good to go. Chicken sandwich.
This was promptly followed up by the 2022 Home Run Derby, which ran for over 4 hours. It was not only an opportunity to watch a showdown of great hitters, but also a chance for fans and players alike to mix and mingle before the games officially began on Saturday.
When it's over, I press rewind. Talking bands, I 17 shots, no 38.
Yeah, so tomorrow there's a little Nico action. I'm here with 2 content creators, best in the game. That's going to be the best of the best here from across the world. Got some Japanese guys. I saw a kid here tonight from, I think it was Alaska. Came to follow the MLW guys. But tomorrow's going to be the greatest day ever. This is what we live for. We're here for US, man. Let's go.
It's gonna be a dog fight. My pick is Phenoms.
Okay. Well,
I think the Canes gotta.
the Canes do have a shot. Out the gate, what is like the first game that you're most excited to see?
C4 Tigers on the main field.
Let's go.
Show me your grip for a second.
That's perfect. Don't change a thing.
See the top left corner? Up there. Up. Good job.
Show me that mullet shake.
Catching feelings isn't all. Let me show you how it goes.
The real MVP out here. After a hard-fought competition, the Home Run Derby ultimately boiled down to the final round between Jordan Robles, Red Sarnowski, and Grant Miller. All right, gentlemen, predictions. Final third.
100% Grant Miller's winning it.
Okay.
Like I Jordan, have to.
Jordan, Nika,
I'm gonna go red.
Rhett. Wow, mixing up. What about Weiner?
There's no Vin Lee or Tim McElrath.
This is true.
So that means Jordan's not going to win it. That means it has to be Grant Miller.
Okay, taking to fire me up.
Fire me up. I mean, it's just like World War, undefeated, 2 times in a row.
She's got class and style. Sweet knowledge by the pound. Baby never act wild. Very low key on the profile. Catching feelings isn't all. Let me show you how it goes. Love the world, spins the world. Lovers it girl, free what you want. I like the way you work it. Don't need it. I'm about to bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I'm about to bag it up. I like the way you work it. No, I'm about to bag it up. I like the way you work it. And I got this soul. Baby boy, let's go. That's my little
Hey, I'll change it. I got your glasses.
No diggity, darling. I like the way you work it. No diggity, darling. I'm not the way you work it.
Let's go red, guys. Let's go red. Get up. 23, 24, 25, 26. One more. Get out. Boy, hell of a job. Let's fucking go. Where's Red? There he is, right there.
Now you're not mad, right?
Oh, good effort there. I was thinking we were doing a swing off there. That would have been so awesome. Oh, that's cute. Thank you. Feeling elated. I mean, this is the Robles, McElrath, Vin Lee fundraiser. And it feels good to get lucky and to take them down. So it was good. It was good.
And you just mentioned Jordan Robles won this tournament back-to-back years. You know, what did it take to overcome him and Sarno in the final?
You know, I got us KWL guys for the last month. We've been practicing this, and we kept going. We gotta get it like 30, and I didn't hit 30 all night, but like last year they were hitting like 34, 35. So we were practicing for 30, and little luck, little skill, and it worked out. So
how tired are you now after all?
Oh, it's exhausting. It's like it's a marathon. I mean, the biggest tip I got is don't swing out your shoes. That's what I did last year. You gotta like keep it really 50, 60%, and you can really hit that much more. The bat does the power, so you just gotta barrel it up.
And how do you get yourself in the groove when you're in the derby?
You know, I try and not watch the balls. The more you watch those balls, your eyes start dancing and you get out of the sync. If you can just focus on that release point and just stay there and stay synced in for a minute, big success. So yeah, yep.
Congrats, Grant. This year's home run derby champion, Grant Miller.
Let's go, you whiff, baby, you whiff. Let's go, Grant. Let's go.
Pool play began on Saturday morning in the chilly Pennsylvania weather, with the first round of games starting at 8 a.m. One of these matchups would be familiar foes, the Phenoms versus Way Too Beautiful. The Phenoms would begin their day by starting a new pitcher, for the team anyway. That pitcher would be none other than Connor Young. Due to a last-minute roster dispute between Young and Kenny Rogers Jr., Connor had been cut from Wiff Inc. a week out from the tournament. The Phenoms had then promptly picked him up as a waiver wire signing to be their fifth man. Connor quickly made his impact felt as he would toss a shutout and get help by home runs from Vin Lee, Toast, and Pagano as the Phenoms cruised to a 14-0 win.
Just like a bandit, 2022 going exactly how I planned it. Anxiety been running through my head, but I shall manage. Fighting all my demons, so they dropping at the canvas. I'll be saying I don't need sleep, it feels like I'm already dreaming. Everything
On an adjacent field, we had a West Coast versus East Coast showdown as the Las Vegas Cajuns took on the Canes. The Canes would throw Kenny Stengel, and the Cajuns would counter with Ryan Roosh. Both pitchers would trade zeros in the first, but in the second, Kenny Stengel would get things going by following up a walk with a single. Next, Rob Longeroux delivered an RBI single to give the Canes the lead. A wild pitch to Devin Torres would drive in another run to give the Canes a 2-0 advantage. Kenny Stengel would go on to close out the shutout win, taking the win in Game 1 of the day.
they've been telling me. Swear I'ma make it, I put that on everything. And when I do know my team's gonna carry me, I give up anything. I'll be saying
Meanwhile, on the main field of People's Bank Park, in a very anticipated matchup, the Wiffle Tigers would face off against C4. The Tigers gave the ball to one of their two pickups from the United States, Lucas Francis, the other one being Tom Gannon. Francis had made a name for himself with his great performance at U-Wiffs with the Claws in 2021, where he had beat C4 on the rubber in a Saturday night elimination game, and he looked to carry that momentum into this matchup. Francis struggled with command in the top of the first, but would battle back to work out of a bases-loaded jam unscathed. Ed Packer would get the ball for C4, and he would also load the bases on walks. However, a nasty slider got him out of the inning with no damage done. In the top of the second, C4 worked a pair of walks, but the Tigers were able to turn a double play to get 2 outs on the board with a runner in scoring position.
Completely throws a Tom for 1 out. Let's see if they complete the double play. DP! Ground ball, base hit by Ty, produces a run. That was a shot.
However, an RBI single from Ty Wegerson would give C4 the lead nonetheless. C4's bats were starting to heat up, as in the top of the third, Ed Packer would help himself with a 2-run shot to extend C4's lead. A wild pitch brought in another run, and C4 had taken complete control of the game. Packer continued to slice and dice on the rubber and would lead C4 to the shutout win 6-0.
So Packer gets Junior chasing. C4 wins 6-0 in the first game against the Wiffle Tigers. So great news for C4, who are looking to rebound from last year's disappointing quarterfinals loss. So
another veteran team starting to make their run would be Wiff Inc. In their first game of the day versus Punishment, Dan Whitener and Mike Stiles would go back-to-back in the top of the fifth to break up the tie and put Wiff Inc. up 3-0. However, Punishment battled back with a 2-run bomb from team captain Jackson Richardson to cut the lead down to 1. But Dan Whitener bounced back with a pair of strikeouts to escape the game with a win for Wiff Inc. In their next game, Whitener kept that momentum going and hurled a shutout versus the Whippets. A home run from Anthony Didio was all Wiff Inc. would need as they moved on with a 2-0 record. As Saturday moved right along, we had a showdown to wrap up the morning. None other than the Phenoms facing off versus the Juggernauts. In this very anticipated matchup, the Phenoms would give the ball to Josh Pagano, and the Juggernauts would counter with their 2022 signing, Ray Luddick. Ray came into the game dealing with a scoreless top of the first, and it wouldn't take long for his squad to follow up with run support. A single by Ben Stant was followed up with a blast to center to put the Jugs up 2-0. Pagano would get out of the inning, limiting the damage. In the top of the second, the Phenoms looked to respond. Vin Lee pummeled a drop that looked like it had a chance to be a home run, but the best outfielder in the business, Tim McGillrath, was there to make a spectacular play on the ball. The game moved on to the final frame as Luddick and Pagano traded strikeout for strikeout. In the top of the fourth, Vin Lee worked a walk, and Jordan Robles would capitalize with a blast to left to tie up the game at 2 apiece. It looked like the game was going to move on into an extra innings dogfight. However, Ben Stant proved once again that he has that dog in him and would end the game in dramatic fashion with a walk-off home run to take the win. The Phenoms would go on to face the MLW All-Stars in their next game. The MLW All-Stars were coming into their last match of pool play after defeating Anarchy 8-3, thanks to some timely hitting and a great pitching performance from Ryan Crash. However, they would not be able to get the best of the Phenoms, who would take the win to move on to Saturday night with a 2-1 record. Another team that would move on to Saturday night would be the defending champions, the Juggernauts, who would advance despite losing to the CCW Skull Crushers. Will Smithy had an incredible game on the rubber, chucking a perfect game against the Juggernauts to lead his team to the win.
Yeah, let's talk more about that game against the Jugs. A couple of 2-0 teams. The winner moves on to the round of 16 tonight. Jugs are the defending national champs. And you threw a perfect game. Mm-hmm. So what were you doing that was so successful?
Basically just throwing it as hard as I could. Plain simple, because my hard isn't as hard as a lot of people out here, but I was just throwing 3 different arm angles, 2 different pitches from each spot, and just did the best I could.
As the day progressed, other expected teams began to trickle into the Saturday night bracket. The Canes and Black Dog Country Club exchanged blows early on in their matchup. But Black Dog entered the final frame holding on to the lead.
Cam, what's the situation right now?
Down 1, out of 4. This is it. 3 outs left. Let's do it.
DNAB would look to close out the game, but a walk and a single by the hot bat of Kenny Stengel gave the Canes life.
Yeah! Let's go! Let's go! Come on! Let's go, Cam.
However, a nasty drop sat down Cam Smith, bringing Rob Longeroux to the plate with 2 outs. Clutch bat versus clutch pitcher to decide the game. DNAP would come out on top to end the game, giving Black Dog the win. With these last few matchups of Saturday afternoon beginning to finish, teams and fans alike began preparing for the long, grueling evening that was to come. A lot of intense matchups to decide who would advance to Championship Sunday. Saturday had been a long, grueling day of wiffle ball, but it was far from over, as by the end of the night, the field that had started with 40 teams would be narrowed down to 8. One of the first batch of these games would feature the MAW Stompers versus the 603 All-Stars. The Stompers would strike first, when team captain Bryce Clark delivered an opposite field solo shot to put the Stompers up 1-0. This lead was then handed over to cold-blooded killer on the rubber, Colin Prentice, who stifled 603's bats.
I like that.
There's a deep fly ball by Haverty. The ball's gone. A 3-run shot to right center. Wow. Thompson.
That was until young phenom Dan Haverty checked in. Havs put 603 on his back with a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning, and then tacking on one more with a solo shot in the 4th inning. He would do it on both sides of the ball, pitching the complete game, not giving up another run, and leading 603 to the 4-1 win and a spot in the final 8 on Sunday. After an unexpected bump in the road, the Jugs bounced back from their loss to the Skull Crushers by defeating OG Goon Squad on the back of Ryan McGilrath's arm. This win put the defending champs into the final 8 on Sunday. Meanwhile, the inaugural United Wiffle Ball champions, the usual suspects, would take down the Whippets in the round of 16 thanks to a great pitching performance by Joe Evanish that would help the team punch their ticket to Sunday. 2 more teams trying to make it back to Sunday were the Phenoms and Black Dog Country Club, facing off in the round of 16 in a very anticipated matchup. The pitching matchup featured the grizzled veteran Toast and the young flamethrower Jordan Bonet. Bonet hurled a scoreless first frame, and Black Dog looked to get their offense going with runners on first and second and 1 out. But the Phenoms would turn a crucial double play, ending the first with both teams stuck at zeros. However, in the bottom of the second, Toast continued to struggle with command and would walk runners to first and second. It appeared he was experiencing issues in his throwing shoulder, and after a team meeting, he was pulled for Vin Lee. Vin Lee came into the game throwing bullets and worked out of the frame unscathed. Getting right back to the dish, the Phenoms looked to spark their offense. And Jordan Robles would do just that. Finally catching up with Bonet's darts, Robles smacked an opposite field home run to put the Phenoms ahead 1-0. Black Dog looked to respond quickly in their half of the inning. A pair of walks and a single by veteran hitter Jay Ventresca loaded the bases for Matty Griffin with 2 outs.
After the final,
But Vin Lee bared down and got the strikeout to escape the inning once again. Bonet and Lee would go on to exchange zeros, sending Black Dog to the plate, chasing 1 run down to their last 3 outs. With that ground out, the Phenoms had taken down the legendary Black Dog Country Club to punch their ticket to Sunday.
All right, folks, we're in here with Jordan Robles of the Phenoms. They just defeated Black Dog 1-0, courtesy of his solo shot in the 3rd inning. Jordan, tell us about it.
So the guy was throwing the ball very fast, and when that's the case, you gotta just sit on one pitch. Not getting down. There's a lot of situations in that game where they had bases loaded, 1 out, bases loaded, no outs, and we battled out of it. So just staying resilient, staying tough.
There would be another legendary team that would also not make it into Sunday. For the first time in their existence as a franchise, C4 would be eliminated on Saturday at the hands of Texas's very own TC35. Led by a fantastic pitching performance by Luke Richter, TC35 defeated C4 under the lights to advance to Sunday for the first time as a franchise. To make this upset solidified even more, TC35 had defeated C4 earlier in the day in pool play. A truly fantastic way to cap off the day for the Texas powerhouse, who ended Saturday with a 4-0 record. On the adjacent field, we had an absolute dogfight between Wiff Inc. and the Meats, 2 very evenly matched teams trying to fight their way into Sunday. Dan Whitener and Tyler Flackney were both incredible on the mound for their respective teams, keeping bats cold. As the game moved on into its adolescence, Wiff Inc. pulled Dan Whitener and put flamethrower Mike Stiles onto the rubber. Stiles came into the game throwing absolute darts. With a runner in scoring position in the top of the 6th, Kyle von Slossingen looked to be the hero once again for Meats fans. He would deliver with an RBI single that just eked its way out of the infield. Stiles would go on to close out the inning with a strikeout, but now Wiff Inc. was chasing a run down to their last 3 outs.
Let's go, Stiles. Come on. Hey.
Come on, Stiles. Come on.
Hey, good swing, baby. Stay locked in. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Let's go. 2 out. Hey, like 2 out focus. Let's go.
With that strikeout, Flackney had closed out the game in a dramatic last inning to put the Meats into Sunday once again. As the clock began to tick closer to midnight, there were only a couple teams left, fighting it out, trying to get their ticket to Sunday. The last game we are going to look at is the matchup between the New York Dragons and the Canes. The Canes were coming off of a victory over Punishment in the round of 24, while the Dragons had posted an early 2-1 record and had a very long wait time for this game to take place. As expected, team captain and face of the franchise Nick Lee took the ball for the Dragons. The Canes, meanwhile, gave the ball to the Texas phenom, Cooper Ruckle. Cooper had been an interesting signing for the Canes, as while flashing moments of elite brilliance in the past few years, he had also shown inconsistency with command. Cooper was coming into this game having just finished an extra innings marathon versus Punishment, so it was a question of how his stamina and velocity would hold up in this late night matchup. It did not look great initially, as Cooper walked the bases loaded. However, the young flamethrower battled back with a pair of strikeouts to work out of the game unscathed. Nick Lee was equally brilliant through the early going. Facing the murderer's row of hitters, Nick kept them on edge up until the third, when veteran hitter Kenny Stengel took advantage of a walk and the runner advancing on a sac fly. Stengel delivered an RBI single to give the Canes the lead, and that one-run lead would be all Cooke would need, as he was masterful throughout the game, not giving up a run and striking out 15 as the Canes punched their ticket to Sunday. It had been a very long, exhausting day of whiffs, but the best was yet to come. It would be a short rest before the final 8 teams began the battle on Sunday to crown a United Wiffle Ball World Champion. Eight teams returned to Wellspan Park on Sunday morning with the opportunity to win a world championship. Those teams were the Juggernauts, Meats, Skull Crushers, Usual Suspects, Canes, 603 All-Stars, TC35, and the Phenoms. The first game we'll take a look at is the rematch of the 2021 championship finals, Meats versus Juggernauts. The pitching matchup featured Kyle Von Slossingen for the Meats and Ryan McGillrath for the Juggernauts. As he had done all weekend, Ryan McGillrath absolutely hurled from the rubber, and he would get help from Ben Stant, who continued to help his team at the plate. Stant would go 3 for 5 with a home run, and Ryan pitched a shutout and helped himself with a 2 RBI triple to put the game firmly out of reach. The Juggernauts advanced to the Final Four with a 3-0 win. Another shutout victory would also be achieved by the Phenoms. TC35's incredible run would come to an end as the Phenoms' bats put up 5 runs, and Jordan Robles pitched a gem to lead the Phenoms to a 5-0 win and the team's first Final Four appearance since 2019. Right behind the Phenoms, the usual suspects on the back of Ryan Wood's great pitching would take their place in the Final Four by defeating the CCW Skull Crushers by a score of 6-1. The last two teams vying for a spot in the Final Four would be the 603 All-Stars and the Canes, playing on the main field of Wellspan Park. These two teams put on an absolute show. The ever-dangerous 603 lineup would have to face a fresh Cam Smith after the Canes had been able to save him on Saturday. Meanwhile, the flamethrower Mike Toohey would take the ball for 603, and these two aces would go to war. As the pitchers exchanged zeros in the early innings, it was a matter of time of who would strike first, and in the bottom of the third, we got our answer. A single by Rob Longeroux was followed up by a home run by Devin Torres to give the Canes a 2-0 lead. However, 603 would strike right back when Toohey delivered an RBI triple to cut the lead to 1. Toohey closed out the fourth, and 603 returned to the dish down by 1 run. Cam Smith would quickly get the first out, bringing Toohey to the plate. What looked like a tailor-made groundout was not to be, as an error by Devin Torres brought the go-ahead run to the plate. But Cam Smith battled back to strike out the veteran Rob Donahue, bringing Jeff Lopes up, trying to keep 603 in the fight. However, Cam Smith slammed the door with that strikeout, and the Canes moved on to the Final Four, which was finally set. Phenoms versus Canes, and Juggernauts versus Usual Suspects. The 2022 Final Four was stacked, to say the least. 3 of the 4 teams being former national champions, and every player being a highly touted Wiffler in their own right. It's a great accomplishment to even be able to make it to the Final Four of the championship tournament, but only one team can walk away with the trophy. So, let's get into these games. The official Food Man predictions for Suspects and Jugs?
Oh, excellent. I think, so I just had the Styles. I think the Jugs are going to win it all now. He asked me who I thought was going to win it. I think it's the Jugs. The reason why I think they're going to beat the Suspects is I think, again, Ryan is a great pitcher. He's one of the best of all time, but I just don't think he's creative enough. compared to the newer pitchers to get through this Jugs lineup. So I think he's going to give up a couple of hits, maybe a home run. I think the Suspects will get some runs. I think this game will be 4-2 Jugs.
Electric Factory guaranteed?
Electric Factory guaranteed.
First off, the two teams to win the first two United Wiffle Ball tournaments, the Juggernauts and the Usual Suspects. Foodman's prediction turned out to be relatively accurate. Home runs from Red Sarnowski and Ben Stant gave the Jugs a commanding 4-0 lead in the top of the first, causing the Suspects to pull wood for Joe Evanish. In the bottom of the first, the Suspects got a run back, courtesy of a solo shot from Ryan Wood. Despite the Suspects tagging up Ryan McElrath throughout the game, they were not able to play any more runs, and the Juggernauts would cruise to a 7-1 win to enter the championship finals for the second year in a row. Yeah! Toast, talk, how you feeling right now?
Feel great, baby. Arm's a little sore. Pitched like shit yesterday. I'm making it up with my bat. Not in the hot man. The hot man right there.
Very
attractive.
Have y'all decided who's taking the rubber this game?
Yeah, Jordan's he's gonna try and get through the first two. He's rolling through that. I'm gonna go in 3. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna get one. The plan is for win. Going the last game.
Let's go. Good luck, man. Good luck. To see who the Juggernauts faced, we had one to remember between the Canes and the Phenoms. The red-hot Cam Smith took the ball for the Canes. As expected, the Phenoms gave the ball to the man on a mission, Jordan Robles. In the bottom of the first, Devin Torres continued his hot bat at the dish with an opposite field home run to give the Canes the 1-0 advantage. But that lead was short-lived, as Jordan Robles delivered a bomb to left field to even up the game at 1 apiece in the top of the second. After these early sparks of offense, both pitchers settled in and cruised through the mid-innings. Going into the bottom of the fourth with the game still tied at 1, the Phenoms made the decision to pull Jordan Robles for Toast. Toast had been visibly dealing with shoulder discomfort earlier in the tournament, but nonetheless began warming up in this crucial spot. Despite giving up a 2-out single, Toast battled back to keep the game deadlocked at 1. Cam Smith continued to deal for the Canes and pitched a scoreless frame in the top of the 5th to send the Canes right back to the plate with a chance to walk it off.
Oh, I did. The Bulls won me a shit ton of money.
Wow. That's so sharp. Shape I don't want to touch it with also for a couple months.
We were talking like that nowhere, like Cam was playing when they were supposed to
Despite giving up a leadoff triple, Toes fought back with 3 straight strikeouts to send this game into extras. In the top of the 6th, Jordan Robles led off with a walk, and Pagano followed up with a single to put runners on the corners with no outs. But far from done, Cam Smith battled back with a pair of strikeouts, sending Jordan Robles right back to the plate with 2 outs. Robles came through once again for his squad, and he smacked an RBI single to put the Phenoms ahead. After a grueling at-bat, the legendary Josh Pagano came through with an RBI single of his own to give the Phenoms the 3-1 advantage. 3 outs away from their first championship appearance since 2019, the Phenoms gave the ball to Vin Lee.
Yeah, you're good.
Come on, 3. Play, Josh.
And with that, a Final Four game to remember had ended. And at last, the 2022 championship game was set. The Phenoms versus the defending champions, the Juggernauts. Two days, 93 games, and the best fast-pitch wiffle ball action in the world had all led up to this matchup. two teams that know each other extremely well. This would be the second time the teams had faced off this weekend. The Juggernauts had taken the win earlier in the tournament and were also defending their championship title. The Phenoms were still chasing their first championship title since 2009, where Josh Pagano was the only player on that year's roster still on the current squad. The Juggernauts would bat 4, with power hitter Ben Stant in the leadoff spot and Ryan McGillrath starting on the carpet. The Phenoms gave the ball to workhorse Jordan Robles and would bat 4 as well. In the very first at-bat of the game, Jordan Robles went opposite field with a solo home run to put the Phenoms in front 1-0, shocking everyone at the park. In the bottom of the first, Jordan was just as impressive with 3 straight strikeouts to get his team right back to the dish. At the dish, Jordan continued to stay hot, going 2 for 2, this time with a double. However, Ryan McGillrath continued to fight on the rubber and would work out of the jam. From here, Jordan and Ryan began duking it out, strikeout for strikeout.
Come on, kid, make this game yours. Get out, baby! Stay up! Fucking up! Stay up! That's it! Right on fucking time! Every time,
Until the bottom of the third, when Ben Stant delivered a signature clutch home run to tie the championship game at 1. The entire Jugs offense caught the momentum, and a pair of one-out singles put the Jugs in a great spot. But Jordan Robles, with a strikeout and a catch by Vin Lee, worked out of the jam.
Oh, let's go! Make it hurt! Make it fucking hurt! Get yours now. Alright, let's go, bro. Let's go, Ryan. Let's go. Make it count, Ryan! Come on, better in this situation. Be the best player here, come on! Ah! Yeah!
Despite the Juggernauts threatening, Jordan Robles was once again up to the task and worked out of the jam. This would send the World Championship Finals into the final inning, still tied at 1.
Good job, Red. Good play. Come on, Jordan.
In the top of the 5th, Ryan McGillrath worked a 3-up, 3-down inning, sending the Jugs back to the dish with a chance to walk it off. However, they would have to face Jordan Robles, one of the best pitchers in the country, still hurling on the rubber. However, in this inning of this game in 2022, Red Sarnowski came out victorious at the plate. On the first pitch of the bottom of the fifth, Red went deep to end the game, the season, and make the Juggernauts back-to-back United Wiffle Ball National and World Champions of Fast Pitch Wiffle Ball.
Hit it again. Woo! Give us that shit! World fucking champs, baby! Yeah!
What does it mean for you to do that for your guys? Reestablish yourselves as the best in the world.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. I mean, I came in the tournament before literally having like one hit on the day. So all I did in between was just practice, get my swing good. And if I can get it going for all my team, then we can get it going for the whole tournament. So worked out, started walking in the end, Red picked up the slack, and we win the ball game.
United Wiffle Ball World Champions, back-to-back guys. How does it feel to go back-to-back?
I mean, this is what we expected. It feels absolutely amazing. Winning one is extremely difficult. Winning two is twice as difficult. And I mean, we just know we have fun, stay together, and do what we do best. That more often than not we'll win. We're not afraid to lose. If we lose, who cares? We'll be back next year. It takes a whole five-guy team effort, and that's what we got here.
What do you say to any doubters out there?
Geez, if there's any doubters now, I mean, I don't know what to say to you. Honestly, wake up.
I don't think anyone should doubt us, because it's just we put the work in. Like, me and Ryan at least play wiffle ball pretty much every day. We don't show up, like, to a tournament just once a week and play. Like, same for these guys, too. Anyone can beat us. People have beat us. We win games 1-0 and stuff. It could easily swing the other way. Guys just really have to put the work in and want it. I get life gets in the way and stuff, but that's what happens.
Do you guys feel like you're starting to enter elite company? You won back-to-back Mid-Atlantic Wiffle tournaments. You won back-to-back UWIF tournaments now. You're one of the modern greats. A lot of observers have been saying it. How does it feel to you guys who have accomplished those two incredible achievements?
That's just for other people to talk about. We're just going to keep playing.
Well, let's talk about the beginning of the tournament before we get to the huge home runs. Ray provided some incredible early wins, incredible early innings. What did that mean to the squad to add Ray this year?
I mean, having him's everything. Gives us nice early arms, and I'll let him talk about it more.
Yeah, it's all about like playing a role too. Like, I know what my role is on this team. Like, I'm here to eat innings. I'm here to try to be as much of an asset to this team and let the guys do their part. It's all about playing a part. There's no ego here either. So.
How does it, Ray, feel to be first-time champion of UWIF?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You know, it was an absolutely sick summer too. I mean, between Mid-Atlantic running through that and running through this, it was a hell of a summer with everyone.
Oh yeah.
Last year you had a huge home run in the semis, huge home run in the finals, and you do it again this year.
I mean, I wasn't looking for anything. I've faced Jordan so many times, especially this year. So, puts it over, I'm gonna hit it. That's what happened.
Were you mad that it didn't go over the netting?
No, I still didn't watch the ball, so I have no idea where it went. Just all went over.
And Tim, did you think you hit a grand slam? I think it was in the third or fourth inning. Did you think it was going out when his base was loaded?
I thought it could have went out because the wind might have carried it, but I knew I just missed it. I hit it on the inner part of the bat, and the loco kind of like pushed in a little bit. Yeah, it was a little soft hit, but I knew I just missed it. I was hoping the wind pushed it out, but that locked me in though. So.
Did it mean anything to you guys when you beat the Phenoms earlier in the day, yesterday? You know, they came back tied at 2-2, and then you walked it off 3-2. Did that game mean anything before coming to the finals today?
You want it? Yeah.
Yeah, that whole game got our entire tournament starting. Like, honestly, that was probably the best game we played all tournament, minus that finals game, of course. But Ray shoved the entire game, tied it up, one bad pitch, and then came up top, and then faced him again, same thing.
Awesome. Yeah. And Brian, you gave up a leadoff home run, you know, to Jordan. What's going through your mind? Are you pissed? Or are you like more focused? What's going on?
I mean, people are just bound to hit one eventually, so you just keep playing and not worry about losing. I mean, these guys are afraid to lose. You gotta drop your bitch ass ego and fucking just keep playing. That's it.
And you started going a little bit more off-speed pitches at the end of the game too. Was that intentional?
Oh yeah, just to keep them off the stuff. It was just smart. Yeah, I felt it was the right move whenever I threw it.
And how did you feel when you guys saw Sorrow? I mean, first swing, first pitch of the bottom of 5. What was your reaction when you saw the ball? Give it to sound. What are your stance?
I don't remember.
It still doesn't feel like real. Like I still feel like I'm playing a game next. It's fucking incredible. That's all I can say.
So
He still sucks.
Go ahead. Do you want it?
So also to add on to the win against the Phenoms, that was most important. Like it really did spark us. But then I'm pretty sure we got perfect game against. We got no hit and perfect game against CCW, and I think that might have turned our tournament around more than any win that we had today. So I think we needed that, and it's crazy how stuff works. So
When you guys go down early, I mean, when people are talking like, "Oh, this game's not over," this game, even if it's 2-3 nothing, that's rare. But today, a lot of people are like, "Oh, the Jugs are coming back." Do you feel that yourselves too when you're playing?
Like that we're coming back?
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that game starts 1-0. You know how many games where we have came back at this point? You can't count yourself out no matter what. Even when you're against guys, when it's in vice versa. Like we're up on suspects 4-0, and that is by no means safe whatsoever. We went up 4-0 in the first inning, and you have to lock down and keep playing inning by inning. Because if you start looking forward, you start expecting to win, you're going to slip up, you're going to make mistakes, and you might end up losing against a team that wants it way more than you.
That's definitely one thing that I notice is like a huge difference here. It's just like a culture that is honestly on this team. Like when I let up that home run, like obviously we're all extremely competitive and I was like really pissed off. But I remember specifically like Ryan and Tim coming up to me and being like, "Don't worry, we've been in this spot a million times. Like we got your back." And like I truly believe that. And then look what happened.
So last question. Last year after you won your championship, you sort of immediately introduced Ray to the roster minutes after you won. You already started talking about back-to-back. Are you even letting it enter your mind yet about a three-peat?
If it happens, it happens. I mean, it doesn't matter. You guys are going to have to deal with the Jugs for another 10, 15 years until our arms fall off. I mean, this is a squad that we've built, and we're not leaving. I mean, there's nothing anyone can do to really break this up right now.
hey, we didn't start by winning a lot. This is kind of new to us, so we just put the work in. We started in 2019. We won like maybe a tournament or two each year. Never won the MAW championship or the national championship. We just continued the grind and grind and grind and put the work in, and it pays off, man.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that say they want this, but I don't know if they truly believe deep down in their gut that I don't know if they believe in themselves or believe they can win, but I know here we got 5 guys that when they walk on that field, there's no doubt that we should win that game. And if we lose, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world because we're not going to blow up. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're going to stick together, figure out how to get better, sharpen our tools, and come back winning more. I mean, I'd say we're looking scary. We're getting better and better every tournament. We learned a lot from this tournament alone. Like, every loss we take is, I mean, be scared. We're coming.
Well, congratulations, guys. You're a fun team to watch. Everybody enjoys it, well, except for the teams you beat. And we look forward to watching again next year. Wonderful accomplishment.
Hey,
Good job, guys.
I want to give a shout out to all the teams we played, everyone that came, all the video crew, everyone that makes this possible. Give a huge shout out to the XY. That's about it for me. Let's go. Any last words?
Let's go, Jugs. 2022 world champs, boy. Hey, anyone can beat us too. Just keep working, guys. Let's go. I'm dead serious. Let's go.
I miss DNAP.
Congratulations to the Juggernauts on a historical 2022 season and back-to-back championship titles. I would also like to say congratulations to the runner-up Phenoms on a spectacular tournament run, as well as every single team that I was not able to cover in this video. Shout out to everyone who came out and competed, cheered on the teams, and had a fantastic weekend at the 2022 United Wiffle Ball World Championship Tournament. In that same spirit, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone who works incredibly hard year-round to make United Wiffle Ball the awesome event that it is. So thank you to Tim and Paul Cooke, Rob Longeroux, Anthony Dioria, Nick Shirey, Tim Dean, Trent Steffes, Dan Lanigan, and Derek Raddick. I would also like to thank Chris Carball and everyone from the York Revolution that have allowed Wifflers to use their awesome facility to host the tournament. I would also like to take time to thank Kyle Schultz, Tommy Coughlin, and everyone from MLW for hosting the Friday Night Fan Fest and U17 tournament. A lot of work went into filming and compiling all the footage used in this recap, so I would like to offer a big thank you to everyone who contributed footage to this video. So huge thank you to Ethan Weiner, Nico Ruiz, Paul Cooke once again, Kyle Schultz, and Mooman from the Meats. Also, for the photo used for the thumbnail of this video, as well as all the pictures that I've been playing as I go through the credits, I would like to give a big thank you to Dan Potter and Tim Cook for their photography throughout the weekend. I am aware that this recap took a very, very long time to come out. That was not the original plan, and as the Wiffs community is currently sitting on the cusp of the 2023 United Wiffle Ball Tournament, it probably feels a tad outdated. Nonetheless, I think it is important for posterity that we can all sit back and enjoy the 2022 season of Wiffle Ball, which I hope this video did a good job of encompassing. It was a season to remember, and I really do hope that this recap will provide people something to look back on in years to come. A lot of work went into the making of this video, and I sincerely hope that you enjoyed it. Until next time, I'm Ben. This has been a Wiffle Statement Recap. Thank you very much for watching, and get out there and play some Wiffs.
Mm.